This is Star Wars, the Vintage Collection, Republic Trooper, from the Old Republic, or the Expanded Universe, video game storyline. And if you play the game, then you'll recognize this particular character as one of the troopers in that video game. I don't really play the game. I don't actually play the game, or any of the RPG Star Wars games. But this was a very, very, very interesting character, and a lot of collectors were really after this one, so I had to get one, and got another one just to show you guys. So here's a quick look at the packaging. As I said, it's from the Expanded Universe. It's a character debut, never before offered as a figure. Really now. Great artwork. I'm sure it looks exactly like that in the video game. And here's the rest of the assortment. This particular wave, these two are from the Lost Wave, as well as this one, but these figures are part of the 5th and final wave of vintage collection figures for 2012. And as Hasbro has put it delicately at Comic-Con, they are putting the Star Wars vintage collection figures on hold. For 2013, they'll be focusing more on figures from Episode 2 and Episode 3, and they'll bring back Build-A-Droid. I hope they bring back the vintage collection soon, as I think it's one of the best lines they've ever done for the Star Wars toy line. So anyway, that's the box. Quick look at the figure. It's very nice. The paint apps came about a little bit too cartoony for me. I wish they could have done a darker shade, just like they did on this snap or bit of artwork from the game. Some weathering would have been appreciated, but you know, to me, a figure that's very clean without the weathering is always a plus. But in this regard, just to make him closer to how he looked like in the video game, I wish they would have made the colors muted, toned down a little bit, instead of this. It looks a little bit more from the Clone Wars, if you ask me. He looks like a figure that could appear on the Clone Wars. But anyway, very well detailed figure. He comes with several accessories. He comes with a pistol. It fits nicely in his holster. That's cool. He also comes with a knife that has a holster. The nice thing about this holster is that it rotates, or it swivels, so that the knife, the hilt of the knife, or the handle of the knife, doesn't actually hit his chest armor, and it doesn't bend outward. He comes with this really interesting Gatling gun-ish, huge big ass cannon, which is a predecessor of the I forgot the name of these cannons that we see on most of the figures. This is from the Domino Squad, and this is an ARF trooper. Somebody tell me what these, I forgot, it's on the tip of my tongue. This is probably a predecessor of these cannons, which is very interesting, the way this guy has been depicted as a trooper in the olden times. He also comes with a lot of detail on him. There is a pauldron of sorts on him. He's got a removable helmet, which reveals, does he look like Michael J. Vai? No. It's an interesting head sculpt, typical Clone War, but with a goatee. So anyway, very, very cool. Great detail on this figure. Articulation, he's got a ball jointed neck, ball jointed upper torso, ball hinge shoulders and elbows, swivel wrist, hinge hip, ball hinge knees and ankles. So you can get him in some decent poses. He's got detailing everywhere. The armor's been sculpted very nicely. I mean, look how flawless Hasbro has done this figure. I mean, if they were this good, if Hasbro paid more attention to their Marvel figures and kept the quality control this good on the Marvel figures, the Marvel figures would be selling even more than they are today. So very, very nice. If you're the casual collector, of these Star Wars. I mean, this figure is pretty hard to track. I mean, in most countries, the fifth wave for 2012 is an online exclusive for Big Bad Toy Store, Amazon, and whatnot, Entertainment Earth. However, here in Asia, these found their way to retail shelves. Here in Manila, I picked this up at Toys R Us. Picked this guy up at Toys R Us, and the other one I got, I'm gonna keep that mint on card because really the thing is very, very hard to find in the entire wave. He is probably the hardest one to find. The next one would be the Imperial Guard. So I mean, I don't think you should lose sleep trying to find this guy if you're just a casual collector. If you are the hardcore Star Wars movie line comic book and Clone Wars and video game avid fan and collector, then this is probably one figure you want to track down. If you're getting him on eBay or online stores, I think, you know, $18, $20 tops is $20 shipped. That's probably the most I would pay for this figure. It's a great figure. I'm just not a big. I don't play the game, so I'm not. You know, so into this figure as much as I am with the other figures. But I do like the figure, and because it's such a great figure, despite not playing the game, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. For the Star Wars collector, it is a must-have figure. But for the casual Star Wars collector, you don't have to track this figure down. I mean, there are other figures that are worth getting and spending money on instead of losing sleep over this figure. So there you go, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I mean, I will try to post more Star Wars reviews if I can get doubles. But until then, do stay tuned to two of my channels on YouTube, Cheftron as well as FX Franz. I do contribute videos to Tech Sushi on YouTube as well. My toy hauls can be found on Keek.com/FXFranz. Latest toy purchases on Twitter.com/FXFranz. And toy sightings locally here in Manila are on Instagram at FXFranz. There you go, folks. This has been the Star Wars Vintage Collection from the Expanded Universe, the Republic Trooper from the Old Republic video game. Thanks for watching.